Hey everybody, happy Saturday, right? Or Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Sunday Chronicles with Chris and Cassie. Once again, this is episode 34. We're calling this The Beginning is Here. It's our last episode of 2017. And we're going to be talking in depth about meditation, which has been a huge... Is the computer on?
It's fine.
We're back. We're going to be talking a lot about meditation in this episode, pretty in depth about it and our chakras and things that have really stuck out to us and helped us in our journey. And
then we're going to talk about our journey a little bit because it involved meditation.
So I'm excited. This should be a really good talk. We've been wanting to talk about meditation for a while now, and I think it's just the perfect time going into 2018, which is going to be a very big year.
Yeah.
So
big shift.
Mm-hmm.
And
big energy shift is happening. So cosmically, it's a big deal coming into 2018.
In a savage beast mode. Hear me out. Okay. In a savage, quote unquote, beast mode, do you even lift, bro, world? And we talk about the fitness world because that's what we do.
And that's what we've experienced, yes.
So, in a savage beast mode, it's hard for me to even say those words. Do you even lift, bro, world? How dare I introduce meditation into that arena, right? That's what it seems like so far, as far as the beginning went.
Well, I think it's my observation with that is not only fear of self, but it's also
fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
I've always been taught something different, that type of thing, but it's also taking, I think certain beings, certain people enjoy the chaos of their brain. They like to, in a weird way, they don't know, it's being silent is scary.
Yeah. I
think it's it's so used to the chaos, you know?
You can't, there's no competition in meditation.
Yeah, and
I think that was, I mean, it's kind of, what do you mean, you know? And
what do you mean I just sit here?
Yeah, what do you mean I just sit still?
And your mind, because if your mind can't stop, it's just, you're going crazy the whole time in your head. And you have to realize that meditation takes time, and I think that's part of that.
Yeah.
But sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, my experience with this, and you've seen it firsthand, and I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna do a sweet ass segue into meditation. I'm gonna go completely off, and then I'm gonna segue it in. See if I can do it. Most people that I've experienced with bringing meditation with Sun, Mind, Body. I mean, you got to see it firsthand. Immediately fled, right? Mm-hmm. Would you say about 75%? Fled, and totally
when
fine.
You brought meditation to
when I brought it to the table as the package, and we also introduced yoga.
We also put out Buddha statues, and those got defaced every day.
Yeah, Buddha statues got defaced in the bathroom.
It was the most bizarre thing, just to paint a picture of the area that we were trying to do this in. And
closed-minded and
the
scared. Words devil worshiper that was thrust upon us, and basically we were exiled out of a town.
Keep talking. I'm gonna see what the lights look like off.
So that's kind of cool.
Guess we'll stick with this. Okay, keep going.
So that was the story. And the reason I want to talk about this is because, you know, meditation in the United States of America is just the opposite of narcissism is rewarded.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States of America. And I can speak on the United States because I'm here. And I'm sure it's very similar around the world. But narcissism is at the top of the game right now, and it's rewarded. So what the fuck do you expect?
It's so bizarre when you find stillness in yourself and all of these things that we're going to be talking about.
And
you look at the world with this lens of the bizarre. The old way that you may have been is so bizarre. What's leading the country is so bizarre.
yeah.
It's just so opposite of what I've found personally. So it's just so strange.
So the word devil worshiper was thrown around a lot, and I'm going on record right now to say they were right.
Because God and the devil are the same thing.
No, they were right, and you know,
darkness and light.
Americans confuse especially the heavily indoctrinated religious side of that, confuse the meditation side with something evil, because it goes against that specific religion, therefore it should be hated. That's what I experienced and what we experienced, and nonetheless it was a great experience.
All of it was completely necessary.
It was necessary for our growth, and
it would have been boring if
sure,
it didn't.
yeah, I mean we wouldn't have failed, and failure is a big part of your purpose. So you learn the most when you fail. Nonetheless, they were right. And the reason that I say this is this. Being conscious is making your demons conscious. And I found how to do that through meditation. Segue. And so, yes, they were right. And the only difference between me and them are I've faced my demons and I've learned to live above them. Yeah. Those who haven't, or those who are against me in meditation and saying all the things that they say, have not faced their demons, and they're allowing them to run their lives.
Hence also the judgment and the hate and the fear. And
so that was a trip. I thought about that. I was like...
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the only difference. I was talking about meditation to kind of go inward, and that scares the shit out of a lot of people.
This has been like the quote of our first season, or whatever you want to call it, is people will do the most absurd thing not to have to look within.
Yeah.
And I always forget who says that. But.
And I found meditation through suffering, through life, and
how long have you been, would you say, actively meditating? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Probably
8 years or something like that.
I don't remember, but it's been a long time.
I was just curious.
But and the simplest thing I can say about meditation is this, and we'll get more in depth in a second. But if you want to learn how to meditate, start meditating.
I think the biggest thing that I have to remind myself personally about meditation is, we talked a little bit about competition. It's there is no try.
Yeah.
You just are. You just be.
And
you have to. And it sounds like the simplest thing, but it is probably the most difficult when you get started.
Yeah, and it's the most difficult 5 years from now, and it's not.
It seems like a constant.
The reason you master, you see meditation masters, is that they are capable of going within without trying.
Yeah, it's an instant.
It's an
instant brain switch. It's an instant. They're completely in that state.
It's so much, and it takes practice. And the
discipline.
reason it's not popular, and I have to use that word popular in America.
Well, everyone wants the easiest fix.
No, they don't. No one wants to not compete.
Yeah.
It's the
I'm the best. I'm the best.
No one wants to not compete, and there's no competition. There's not even competition with yourself.
And I'm going to say that I 100% agree with you. I think that it's that, but I also think it's that everyone wants the easy fix. Meaning, because when you meditate, it still is helpful to sit even for a minute, but it's not you're not going to face your fears and get over them in that first minute. It's not an easy fix.
It's not a pill.
It's not a pill. Yeah. It's not a program like that happens in a second.
Yeah.
And so I think those two things, the competition and that, are the two biggest reasons
that it's shunned, or
that it's just not looked at. But what's great, and we know this, that, I mean, it's starting to become mainstream in a way. The Zen and this and that, and as some people, I think, in the spiritual community, whatever you want to label it, or just people who, for whatever reason, that I've read a lot of things where it frustrates a lot of people seeing that, all that stuff coming out. But I think it's great because it'll catch on. People will be like, well, what does this actually mean to just live in the moment? What does that really mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
you remind me to talk about in the moment. I'm sure I will, but that's a big part of it.
Okay.
Eventually with enough practice, you become a walking meditation. And what I mean by that is you never leave the eternal now. You've practiced so hard, because you got to constantly remind yourself when you go to the future and you get anxiety, or you go to the past and you get depression. You got to remind yourself, listen, come back to the now. Stay in the now. I like to use the phrase now. I think that's as simple as it gets, but now, once you start to feel that anxiety or whatever, you're going to, this is meditation in the awake state. Living in the now, in the moment. And I know that's so cliche, but it's so important at the same time. And you'll realize how difficult it is
to not latch onto thoughts and be in the now and think of the thoughts of the future and past, and
I think
and latch on. I think grabbing onto that's from, I haven't been meditating that long, so I feel like, I mean,
you have a great perspective.
I have a good
perspective.
a good perspective. That's why I asked earlier, Chris, how long you've been meditating. Probably
for a
about
long time.
At least 8 years, something like that. And I've probably just for about 2 years trying more actively, but it's still something that I know I need to do more and would like to, and need to focus on it. But it's like, how do I stop these thoughts in my head? How do I stop them? And that was my biggest.
It's still to this
thing.
day. You've always said that about.
But it's gotten so much better. I can completely shut off my mind now.
Shut off the
thoughts,
the pop thoughts.
Yeah, and that's something.
And then consciously think. And I get this question a lot. Well, if I shut my mind down, how am I supposed to think? There's two ways of going at this. The human mind has about 50 to 70,000 thoughts that go through it a day.
And that's what you call
Pop thoughts. That's I've termed
the random things that you can't even control. They just come in.
It's like the faucet turns on the moment you wake up in the morning, and then burn.
All the stimuli around you, all that stuff.
And what happens is that human beings grab and attach onto those, and they may attach. There's 50 to 70,000. Say you attach to 10.
I think we can all stop and think of the people that, now that if you look at life like that and see people, you can see physically a result of someone who was grabbing onto all those 50,000 thoughts. It wears you down physically, emotionally, mentally, all that
and
stuff.
If you weren't aware of that happening, or if you weren't aware,
I wasn't aware that you could stop them. Or ignore them. You can't stop them, but ignore them. I didn't know that was a thing.
Observe them. And that is a key word. Observe them happening. I like to say that they're on one of those ticker boards that run across. They're on a ticker board, and there's that thought going. I like to equate it to a shooting star. That shooting star, you see it, and then it goes away. And what happens is they're not going to repeat unless you hold on to it. So you see it, God, kind of gives you a bad feeling. All right, bye. And
I think almost let go or be dragged goes with these thoughts too.
Yeah. It's the moment that you clamp onto them, they're going to pull you, and that's when it starts to affect you emotionally, which starts to
affect you physically.
It'll affect your thought patterns, and you'll start projecting fears, and then that fear will come into reality in your life.
Very well said.
That's why meditation, I feel, has been a very important part of my life, because
I love her.
What did she say? So I completely forgot where I was.
I'm sorry, it's because I got so excited. I was like, hey. No, it's
Pop
meditation
thoughts.
for you is what has, I think, helped not only mentally, physically, emotionally, all these things in your life, my life too. I think what I wanted to add, if you don't mind, from what you were talking about, just be myself being newer to meditation and really learning to quiet my mind. I think, now I'm losing my train of thought. For me, when I discovered that you did not have to latch onto thoughts, because my mind was always going, I remember telling Chris early on, I'm like, all I want everyone in this world to experience is the fact that you don't have to have a million thoughts running around in your, 50 to 70,000 bogging you down every day. I think that feeling of freedom and everything else looks different. You become more aware because your mind is focused on the now and what's right in front of you, or what's happening consciously around you, instead of not
grabbing
paying attention.
onto that,
and
those
because
thoughts.
of grabbing onto those thoughts, you're not even looking around you. That's why people, when you see it when people are on their phones and they fall into fountains, you see it when people are just not present.
Not being present.
They're not. And so I didn't know that you didn't have to do that. I had no idea. It was so strange.
You cannot control those 50 to 70,000 thoughts. They're going,
it's
for
like, why
some
won't
reason.
I ever,
For some reason, that's how we're programmed. That, and everyone experiences that. What you can control is preventing your hand from reaching out to grab it, or your mind from reaching out to grab that thought. And that's the more and more you practice seeing those thoughts happening, shooting star, it's going to go away, it's going to go away. Don't even latch on to the good ones.
Well, I remember what you told
I remember what I was talking about before I forget.
Okay.
Those are thoughts. How do I think if I shut my mind down? What you're actually going to be doing is silencing all of those thoughts by pushing them away, but being able to consciously plan.
Yeah, we always remind ourselves that this is just a conscious plan. Like when we plan something for the next day or the next week that we have to write on the calendar or something.
We live in the moment, but you have to consciously plan. And that's part of life. So that's the answer to that question. How consciously put together a plan and then let it go. Once you've planned it, let it go. It's followed the intuition. That's the thing. Okay, when that shit arrives, I'm going to attack it, and therefore it shall be done.
And I really like your shooting star. I remember early on, for me, we were kind of talking about it, and I think I remember you telling me it was like you kind of make it a game, or at least that's how I feel about it. You can make them your thoughts. You can picture them smashing against the wall and going away. You can do whatever helps you get those. There's all different ways.
When you're driving, you can you keep your eyes open and see them passing, and throw them out into a car, or throw them so far away that you can't read what they say.
And that really helped us, I think, doing visual things like that, because meditation for each person isn't. It's different for everybody.
It's a custom vehicle. It's a custom vehicle. You're designing your own hot rod machine, and I like to, equate meditation to a spaceship or a car or something like that. It's that time when you get in it. If anyone has a favorite, a Ferrari or a Charger or whatever that they love to drive, that's your time. That's to me what meditation is. And once you start to understand and go within and start to explore and go, I read you've never really meditated unless you've cried. Seeing and feeling and doing all those things, when you go within and releasing those things and having a good cry is very...
It's a big part of it.
It's a big deal. But meditation is for you. It's personal, man. You can't selfie take it. I'm sure you can, but it's a personal journey, and it's private, and you do it whenever you feel like it.
Someone just wrote Brad. I'm sorry, I can't say your last name. Probably Brad, but he just said thoughts also come from memories, bad and good. And remember, I had that same question to you early on. I was like, well, these memories, so you don't want me to think about these good times? I remember I had someone else asking me about that too before. What are your thoughts on that?
Ask me, what is it again?
Brad said thoughts also come from memories, bad and good.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of treat them the same way? You don't want to forget your memories. There's good and bad things.
Yeah, no. You grew from the bad, and you
have to learn to let those go.
You smile from the good. There's no reason to attach on to each. In my personal opinion, they're in the past. You know, I think holding on to something like that is, whether it be good or bad, I think I'm in the now.
It could cause depression, the good thoughts, because
Yeah.
you're not there happening. It could cause depression.
There's so many things
And
that it
then
can do by holding on to the past.
happy thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you had something really good happen, and you're always. It's cool if it comes through and to have that.
It's like Uncle Rico
that good,
on Napoleon. He should have put me in. You know, holding on to that moment. You know, and never letting that go. I always.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I think that there's a great question. Memories, of course you're going to have them, but
I remember that was just a big thing for me.
Yeah.
That's why I got so excited about
and
it. Because
don't try to stop anything.
Yeah.
Observe it, and that's the key. That was the key for me. It's like, okay, you can't control.
But you
them.
can't latch on and dwell even the happy ones,
Yeah.
because then it starts causing a little bit of depression because you want to be back there possibly or whatever it may be. But it's good to have. It's good to for that second hold on to it for a second, be like, that was wonderful, and get the loving feelings or the happy feelings. But then
I say get the pain too.
Yeah.
Get the pain.
Remember that.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like that.
the thing is don't try to stop anything. But meditation is your own personal vehicle, and it's been very important in my life. For some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's Tai Chi. For some people, it's lifting weights. For some people, it is whatever. Everyone has their own thing. But meditation is something that I dig because there is no competition. And this is another thing. The individual has no competition. And if you can roll with that in your life, an individual has no competition. That means you're on your path.
Well, I think you can agree that that's a big thing for you. Always used to tell me, and you're right. It's not a competition, Cassie. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I think I was really holding on to, that notion, that word of competition, and because it's what we're raised to do in this world.
You were raised in a very competitive environment with sports and things like that, and
I'm just everything. I was very competitive.
Yeah.
I still have little moments still.
There's
and
nothing
I check
wrong with
myself,
healthy
and that's
competition.
cool.
Yeah, I think that's great, but like
that's a big one.
Sports and that stuff is badass, but taking it to the egomaniacal level.
Yeah,
I think
it's all balance.
It is. I mean, it's all balance.
Every
from
single thing in
eating
life.
to physical fitness to whatever. Willie Nelson says, if you can abuse anything, basically, and what he's saying is balance, and Willie is the Buddha. So, but
what are I don't know exactly what you want to go into with meditation, but before you get into the chakras, I was just going to say meditation can be as simple as closing your eyes.
Simple meditation.
Or there's guided meditations. I just wanted to kind of talk about the very basics of meditation.
There basic meditation for me.
I didn't even know where to start, and I realized there is no set way.
Yeah, and if you're seeking meditation, say it, practice it, and you'll be provided with different things.
The tools and things.
Yeah, there are thousands and thousands of guided meditations out there, from shamanic chants to
the instrumental to certain hertz, to certain frequencies, to
there are binaural beats out there.
Hypnosis,
that's
which is truly self-hypnosis.
Yeah, you can only be hypnotized if you allow it. But
it's just awesome. It's so fun to start. If something's calling you to meditate, look.
There are apps, all kinds of meditation apps. My personal favorite is to shut my eyes and to give my mind a task, and that task being, hey, busy mind there, focus on your natural breathing pattern.
Mm-hmm.
In and out. I'm making my mind go to my breath. That immediately shuts down the I can no longer look at my thoughts, because your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So if you put your mind on your breath, that to this day, and you don't have to sit up all fancy. You don't. I mean,
sometimes I do sleep-tations.
Yeah, I mean, if you fall asleep during a meditation, that's cool. As you start to advance, you're going to want to sit up, because you're going to want to stay awake, because there's fun things that happen in meditations, and The longer you sit,
It could be
the funner it
auditory,
gets.
visually,
Yeah.
physically.
Some people are
emotionally.
gifted.
Yeah, and you either see things, you could hear things, you could feel things.
Yeah.
There's all different. It's really kind of neat to find out. Okay, what is my
Cassie, do you
instinct?
try to do those?
So the biggest thing we said is I've said so far, I think, is that you can't try in meditation, and that's been one of the hardest things for me.
But do you want to try to see images?
Yes,
or...
because the moment, like for me.
No, do you want? Is that? Do you?
No, that's not what you should be. That's not
your objective.
That's not the objective. But when I see a little something, I
get
want to
excited.
grab onto it and
Yeah.
get excited. I'm like, ooh, what is that? And I try to put a label to it, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what it makes it go away.
Sure.
And so what
You
I'm
grab
getting
on
at
it.
is,
Yep.
yeah,
Allow
that's
it.
the try. Just allow it.
What's a
It's-
good thing to say when you see something?
I am.
I am. Those two words are the most powerful words that you can say in meditation and in life.
Right?
We had nachos tonight. That was
Vegan
good.
nachos.
Vegan nachos.
That's
We're
awesome.
I'll take photos of the ones I'm making
I know
tomorrow.
that's a label, but I just meant to say it was all plant-based, and it was so good.
Yeah.
It was different, and it was really good.
So that's what I just burped up. For all that you wanted to know.
But no, I get really excited when we talk about meditation because, again,
Yeah.
it all gets down
It's
for
all
me.
a personal thing.
It's a personal thing, but it's also that you can find inner peace. Like, you can find quietness.
What
and
do you find?
feel
What
your
do you
body.
find before inner peace?
Well, actually,
A lot
I
of
don't think it's what
chaos.
you're. Yes, and I also don't think meditation's not. It's that quote from Buddha. I wanted to make sure that, or we wanted to make sure. To talk about.
What
It's a
you know?
big part.
Buddha was asked, "What have you gained from meditation?" And the wise man said, "I've gained nothing. It's what I've lost: anxiety, depression, anger, all of the things that you lose from meditation." And that's another thing.
It's not about gaining.
It's just the opposite of the culture of America. It's
You want to lose everything,
wanna-
so you come down to your default.
I often
think.
joke that the spiritual path you walk backwards,
Yeah.
you unlearn, and the world teaches us to go get
And memorize.
That's going to segue now into this. I'm good at segues tonight. We're going to talk about chakras, and we're going to talk about the endocrine system, which is the energy system that we all have, and then we're going to talk about the first things first. Your physical body is your vehicle. Your actual self, and you'll find this in meditation, your higher self or your astral being, your spirit, that is your actual self. And that's that self that's animating me in this, as you can see, this energetic, this is all energy. My higher self is energy. And you'll find your higher self during meditation. And this is where the chakras reside.
My favorite part about what we're going to talk about is relating to the endocrine system. I can never say that. Because I think most people, when they see chakra colors, they hear chakras like, what's that? I don't want to say like mumbo jumbo, but
Sure.
like,
Mama
what's
Jumbo's,
all,
yeah.
what's all this, hippie talk or whatever labels people put on it. But when you can actually attach to something that's really there, it all starts to make sense. So
We always say study. I always...
that was one of my favorite parts about this journey of life is the studying part.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much out there
you
to learn.
walk around with a
and it's study to understand, not to
world
memorize.
dictionary in your hand that you can also talk to other people on. Use it.
Yeah.
But most human beings are operating out of the first chakra. And it's because of a few reasons. They were indoctrinated into a belief system that totally shit on the chakra and made it look evil. Blah 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 blah.
Well, what is the first chakra? Like,
first chakra?
What is a chakra?
It's a let's call it a ball of energy, and it's
There are these energies throughout your body. There are these balls of energy we're going to talk about the 7, the main ones that
yeah.
are an intro, but there are like 300.
All over your
All
body,
over your
energy
body.
systems, and these energy systems are they correspond to glands throughout your body, and we'll talk about which ones. The root chakra being the what the root chakra is to me, and I can only speak from personal experience. It's red. It's like this shirt. Root.
And you'll see the chakras are rainbow colored. That is Roy G. Biv. It's your red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, violet. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's things really start to all come together and make sense.
So the root chakra for me connects me to the earth. You hear people say grounded. That's what it does.
Yeah, grounding or to be grounded.
Yeah, and
is that?
It is.
What happens if any of these chakras, which what we're going to get into, is if you're having any sickness or physical pains in these things, you can link them back to a chakra being out of line or out of balance or dirty, meaning like you can picture instead of a clear red ball here of energy, it's dark and dusty basically in the simplest point, meaning it needs to be cleared, and that causes physical ailments. And when you start
that correspond with specific energy systems,
and if you can focus and heal these chakras, which basically means yes, we can heal ourselves.
We can heal ourselves, and as time starts to go on, you're going to understand that there are sound healing.
Those are so awesome.
Yeah, there's so many different things that once your chakras become aligned, your physical health or your energy systems, your skin will get, everything you seek in beauty products to help, you can actually do naturally. And that's a big part of Sun, Mind, and Body, and we're going to explore that further when we get things up and running again. But most people only operate out of the root chakra. It's at the tip of your spine, and when you close your eyes, these are things, when you start studying chakras, you can start studying on your own.
Yeah, if you just type in chakra,
CHAKRA,
in Google, you're gonna go to images. You're gonna see all these awesome graphics and charts that show you what these chakras are.
And obviously, this is for the beginner. Those that are hip to meditation are watching this, going, "Okay, cool," and they've experienced the same thing on their own studies and in their own time. Your next chakra is your sacral chakra.
I think everyone's operating out of that too.
Yeah, it's those two chakras are very primitive. You've heard me talk about the modern world is a very primitive world. It's that hunter-gatherer thing, conqueror, beast mode, savage.
It's all the words are primitive.
Yeah, I'm not calling these people that. They describe themselves as that. So that's that. As you start, and this is the reason that I say this. There are opposites. So your root chakra, your sacral chakra, when they're dusty or they're clogged or you're holding on to something that's blocking them and preventing that energy flow, the solar plex is the next higher up.
So it goes root, sacral, solar plex.
Solar plex, and this is where your strength comes from.
And that is, by the way, red is root. We said that, but the orange is sacral, and then yellow is
your solar plex. The opposite of that strength is fear. And the reason I say most people are operating out of the bottom two, the primitive lifestyle, that hunter-gatherer, conqueror mindset, is because if you operate out of fear, your solar plexus is shut down, your heart is shut down and hardened and separate. Your throat chakra is truth and lies. You'll see that throughout the world. You're operating out of lies. Your intuition or your third eye is completely closed and calcified, and your crown chakra is completely cut off from the universe. So you're the only two actual chakras that you have, I think, you're given are the primitive chakras at the bottom.
And I think that what I was going to say is basically what you just said. So not only are these physical ailments happening when your chakras are out of line, but it's being caused by some emotional, or it's kind of like a cause and effect emotional thing happening. You have fear if you are Right, like talk, if, you know what I'm saying, like the fear you just mentioned, but there's more too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if you're manifesting your fears, you hear me say that all the time.
That means there's a blockage somewhere in, in a chakra.
Yeah, and there are all kinds of, you can heal your chakras through sound.
Well, this is perfect because she just said, can you talk about mantras, which we'll get into later, but talk about like crystals and minerals, which is, I asked you today, we talked about it, how that works with healing, because there's specific in each of these chakras, there's actually specific minerals or crystals that help heal that.
There's specific notes.
And
musical notes that
before I heard, I didn't just jump into this. I was like, that doesn't work, but I've personally experienced it. Yeah. That what a difference it makes to.
You can feel the energy
herbs,
in crystals.
Same thing. There's
what was Yul's question?
Just to talk about that, as well as like I guess mantras and things like that. Which I don't know if you want to finish with the chakras first.
We've talked about the chakras. I'll go back. Mantras are cool. You hear Om. That Om, that's one. Om, there are a bunch.
And if you have a baby in your life or a younger child, do that, and they love it, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they're divine, and they know what Om means.
That frequency is the 432 hertz. Yeah. That's I can't remember, but you can look up these hertz and know what it's
the night Laz was born, I did the Om, and I've done it ever since, and he does it now. It's cute. We'll try to get it on video, but... And he'll even lower the best that he can, but it'll put him to sleep like that.
Yeah, it's so cute.
And he'll instantly, and then you get instantly calmed down with the Om mantra. There are mudras, which you see a lot of. These are amazing. This is your basic mudra. But MUDRAs, there's mantras. We talked about I am.
And all of these things are to help you get focused, but a lot of them have significant meaning as far as what you're doing with your hands. Those are the mudras, like you said, and the mantras. But I think the mantras and those help you focus, and they help you quiet your mind. And
close your eyes for 5 minutes and say Om
and that's hard
over and over and over and Om in a comfortable manner with your natural breathing pattern. And after 5 minutes, all of those crazy thoughts that are going, sometimes 20. If you're starting, give yourself 20 minutes for everything to clear up. But repeat that mantra over and over.
And build up to that, and that's okay. Yeah. It's okay to build up. You don't have to expect to go meditate in a cave for 3 years your first try,
Yeah.
And never, it's a few minutes here or there. It makes such a difference. That's, for me, has been a huge help.
Mudras, mantras, and personalize your vehicle, personalize your meditation machine. I always like to say that. Don't ask advice, go with what your intuition tells you in meditation. And just like we say with everything else, follow your intuition. If you feel like trying something in meditation, there are no rules. You want to meditate butt-ass naked, do it. There's no rules.
I think in a life of competition, in a life of where everything has to be done a certain way,
that's kind of crazy. What do you mean? I don't have a guideline?
I don't have a guideline. I remember that was kind of freaky for me when getting started. But what I think is great about meditation for me, I'm still working towards, and I know it's not about trying, but like you love to just sit by yourself in silence. I still like to do guided meditation and things like that. So it just really depends. We're completely different, but when we have completely different experiences, and I think something big for me, like we said, Chris said something about not looking for advice or not having advice. However, seek or search through YouTube and find out what works for you. There's great videos out there.
If you have a question, ask.
Yeah, well, I'm saying there's great videos out there that really help me, like, okay, how do you even start? Is it closing your eyes? Is it opening your eyes? Well, it's both. Is it, do you look at the back of your eyelids? Am I looking for something? There's all, do your research and see and find out what tips and tricks to help your body and your mind get ready.
Because
those are.
Yeah, there are many people, and you fail. I know you can't fail, but there is you're eventually, you're going to want to get in the zone, as people say. You know, there is a zone that you'll find, and you want to keep going back. Yeah, keep going back.
What do you
to,
call? Well, it's the place past vertigo. Is what you always call it, right?
Yeah, and as you get more and more in depth into it, you'll start to experience what I like to call vertigo, or these moments of
like you'll almost scare yourself awake or back into it, and that's, I think everyone,
there's all kinds of fun
experiences
stuff.
that.
And if
cool.
you and your friends are meditating, talk about these things, it helps other. Oh yeah, I experienced that as well, because we're all connecting to the same place.
Oh, I heard something. It's cool to talk about, but it's also personal.
I just said we're all connecting to the same place.
Yeah.
I've never said that before or thought about that. We're all connecting.
The same source, the same energy.
Connecting back to the same source of whence we came.
Yeah. Which that creates that unity and that collective consciousness power, I think.
Yeah, through meditation.
Because it's a positive.
That oneness will start to happen.
That's why when they've done those studies where a whole group of people meditate, crime rates drop in that area, all these things change because, and that's a whole other place we could go, but I don't think we're going there.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Just the science has now started looking into meditation and how it changes your brainwaves and changes your body and the things that you can do. And it's just, which is great because you got skeptics now maybe jumping on board about how important this really is.
Yeah, once science and metaphysics join forces. And again, I want to be a part of the team here in Dallas.
And it's out there, but
going to
get
cool.
As it gets bigger.
And this is what we're entering into is.
We said the beginning is here. This is what we're.
This is the very beginning. You're going to see a lot of new people awakening, like every day, like what, and when they're going to awaken in their own badass, beautiful way.
But we're to their purpose to themselves, to what this world really is.
And they're going, and what's happening is, and we talked about this a lot, is that the world needed a mirror. And when the world needed a mirror most, it manifests one into
the president.
What's occurring, and because of that, that chaos is going to wake the world up. That did the manifestation, and that's
it's
where
all happening exactly as happening exactly as it should be.
And that's why it's okay to let go of it, because the snowball's already happening. And
it's fine. Just work on. To me, I've always told myself it's fine out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. The only way for me to make an impact, not only in the world or the universe or anything, is I have to. It's change the world, change yourself. I mean, you have to. I feel like I have to get grounded and work on myself in order to make a difference.
And I don't know if this is advice or not, but I put changing the world on hold. That's a big responsibility, and
it can be very overwhelming.
That'll come with purpose, but if you try to do that without fixing this first, you'll break yourself.
You're going to crumble, because you're going to be grabbing onto others. It's external. It's looking externally for happiness by fixing other people. You're externally grabbing onto something else, but if you're not,
you can't fix anybody.
Exactly, and so it's just going to be a constant trying to fix all these people.
It's a wasted.
It's a waste of energy, and it's hurting you in the long run, I think. And I have personally experienced this, and I think a lot of people have.
Yeah, trying to fix the world, man. You want to kill yourself.
Fix yourself. Change yourself.
So the chakras.
Yeah, I think we should just talk a little more in detail about maybe clearing the chakras, or what it's attached to, your organs and things. I think that's so interesting. I would love to just go through and say, okay.
Is that
so and again, you can look this up on Google and get a great image.
So the root chakra being at the tip of the spine, which is bright red. Envision a red ball of energy spinning clockwise. Wow! I always like a really smooth red ball spin. So that is connected to
the testes, kidneys, and spine. So that's when you're having, again, and everything we're going to say, instead of going into extreme detail, these are things that if you're having issues with your kidneys, your spine, your reproductive system in any way, it's because your root chakra is out of line and out of balance.
Yep. Or blocked.
And the best thing about what I love about the internet and the resources at your fingertips is you can look up now, because people have put so much great information out there. Root chakra, how to clear my root chakra, and there could be some things out there that might help you.
Yep. The next one up being the sacral chakra is connected to
the bladder, prostate, ovaries, kidneys, gallbladder, bowels, and your spleen. And sorry, so I misspoke. It's not your root with your reproductive system. It's actually the sacral. That's your sexual energy center, but also related to all of these.
Bladder, prostate, ovaries, kidneys, gallbladder, bowels, and spleen. And that would be the sacral chakra.
The orange.
The orange one. The heart, obviously.
Or we skipped...
the solar plex.
Solar plex is yellow.
Yeah, yellow, and that is your strength. And I did not
write down. I think we forgot to write down.
Yeah,
Look it up.
Yeah, the solar plex chakra. Then there's the heart.
I think we said solar plex was your pancreas, right?
It is the pancreas. Yeah. And so good job.
Yes. So if you're having pancreas issues,
yeah, it's the solar plex and heart and lungs, and
it's green,
bright green. Choose your own colors too. Use your own imagination. Your throat, bronchial, vocal cords, respiratory, and everything in your mouth, from your teeth to your tongue, everything in your mouth. And that would be your throat chakra.
And that is blue.
Yes, your third eye, and we've talked about the third eye before, is connected to your pituitary and your pineal gland. And do a study on pineal gland, Pineal gland. The reason I say this is because you'll see the eye in Egypt and a lot of those things. When you slice open a pineal gland, it has that same. The eye of Horus and all that stuff.
It's fascinating to look up stuff with the third eye / pineal gland.
Yeah.
Kind of see how many things are done in this world to calcify and shut down our pineal gland, like fluoride. That's a legit thing. It's been proven and studied and shown the difference between fluoride and all these things. So have fun looking into that. I think it's something that I really enjoyed looking
into. Your third eye is your
intuition.
Yeah, that's where it all comes from. That's how you, and how to activate each of these chakras is this. They're your chakras.
So find what works for you.
Ask them.
Yeah.
Activate.
Yeah.
Activate and clear. I always, when I'm doing my simple meditation, I breathe in the light and I blow out. I breathe in all the way to whichever chakra I'm cleansing. If I'm doing the entire one, I'll start at the bottom and go all the way to the top. It normally takes about 45 minutes, but take your time and have fun and clear them.
But you breathe in the light and breathe out.
I breathe out that
gunk.
shit that's in there. And you may have had a situation or a circumstance that occurred in your life that affected that specific chakra. So therefore, go in and cleanse it. I'm out of water, so I have cotton mouth.
Here. Just ask. And don't forget the crown. We haven't talked about that yet.
Crown?
The crown that connects us up, shooting through.
Yeah, I like to connect my crown chakra to God. I mean, to open it up and connect my root chakra to Earth, at Mother Earth at the same time. When I do my personal meditations, I like to see, I'd like to do cloud meditations, that's simply staring at clouds, watching them go.
You all right?
And I like to see a DNA strand come from the divine down through me and down through the earth. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do.
Self-regeneration that you're working on, and DNA, all these
DNA
things.
upgrades and all these other different things.
But the crown, lastly, though, is, just to close the whole chakra discussion here, is it's your spinal cord, your brain stem, and that is violet. And the pineal is indigo, and so again, it's Roy G. Biv, it's the rainbow, and so it's something...
and again, these correspond with your glands, and go study your endocrine system. It's a very important part of your body that doesn't get a lot of attention. Think of these chakras in your higher self. and become aware of your higher self or your spirit, and realize that is your actual self.
And know the power that you have. I always think of He-Man with everything that when I talk about power, self-power. I have the power. And, think of He-Man. You have the power to clear out these blockages that
They're
you have.
your block. You caused the blockages.
You caused them. You can clear them out.
Yeah.
And these are things that you can actually self-heal. I've seen personally Chris do this. I've experienced things myself, just as simple as focusing on the area of pain, knowing what maybe chakra goes with it, and clearing that out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And you're like, wow, I have all this power, and why haven't I been taught this in school?
Yeah.
There's reasons, but it's the coolest. We are magical beings of light and dark and rainbows and all these things. It's so cool.
Yeah. But meditation is it was a very important part of my journey, and I have conversations in person about it.
And you went hard. When I say that, we talked about this before. It's up to you personally, but like you, at times, I'm meditating a couple hours a day, which is so badass. And that's just your decision. You want more. You want to keep diving down that rabbit hole. You want to keep going.
Yeah, I'm a little peculiar when it comes to that. I still. I mean, I'm capable nowadays of getting there quickly, and that just comes through years of practice and activating. The more and more you activate each chakra, you're capable of. You can do it instantly. You can do it while you're walking. You can, but you have to practice. And
what I like to do is on my lunch break, actually, even just take at work, just take 3 to 5 minutes and just sit still, and it's almost like you took a nap. You get this energy surge. You feel you feel better and rejuvenated. And I think and that reminded me also, just sitting still and noticing how each part of your body feels. I forget in yoga what that's called. Nidra, I think. Yoga Nidra. That means you consciously feel every single part of your body. So you'd be like, you're thinking index finger, arm, whatever it may be, but it gets you in the moment. And for the first time, you feel what it feels like that your butt feels like on a seat. Like right now. Like, I feel... You never even realize you feel that because you never stopped. I never stopped to realize that I could. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time articulating what I'm trying to say tonight.
No, it's really, kind of like when I say, when's the last time you've heard a bird chirp? When's the last time you felt your ass on a seat? Which is the last time you felt your feet inside of your shoes?
It's a really interesting observation, I think, because you realize, wow, I'm running around in the hustle and bustle, or whatever you want to call it, the busyness of life, and I'm not even feeling my own body. I'm not even aware of myself.
What happens when you instantly become aware of your index finger? It's just like you're giving your brain something to think about. Therefore,
it's clear.
It's clear, and that's why from the Buddhist monks of the world to whomever meditation masters of the world, they all say, be still and give your mind a task and focus on your natural breathing pattern, and do that. Try it. I say this: try it a minute at a time, especially if you're in the beginning. And if you try it 60 times a day, you're at an hour a day.
Yes, yeah, a minute each time, 60 times a day. That's awesome.
And it's fuck New Year's resolutions and all that stuff, because I'm gonna be continuing. I'm gonna continue to follow my path, and I'm going to, whatever I have to do on the 1st of January 2018. I know, and that's what I'm going to do.
And that's being in the moment. And
my New Year's resolution is my purpose, and I continue to, and I know my purpose is my life, and therefore, I'm going to continue to rock on that day the same way that I'm rocking today.
And I think being in the moment gets rid of that expectation of anything. You don't you're in the moment, so you're not planning and being disappointed. You're not living in the future, having anxiety.
Don't set yourself up for failure.
Just live in the moment, and that way you are
Be conscious of what you want in this moment.
And you'll always have
project it, and the universe will give you things to accomplish it.
And that's
That's
the
a
secret
fucking
of life.
resolution right there,
Yeah.
man. You know,
If you're gonna have one, make it that
be
year.
conscious of what you want now.
Not 6 months from now.
No, yeah, right now.
Yeah, I like that.
And be conscious of that. Meditate on it.
I'll just click close, and then you might have to. It may be dark. I don't know though. Here, if you lift the. I don't know if you guys can see us, or it's just from our view, but. Yeah,
anyways,
we're almost done, anyways.
Yeah.
No, that didn't work. If you lift the phone and click the flash button, so it says, "Hey." All right, I'm the tech savvy one. If you haven't noticed. Oh dear. Oh no.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Thank you for your patience.
But
But anything else? I just think, again, this has been, everything we've talked about is just our experience and meditation and what we think going into this new year. It's a beginning. It's an important year cosmically.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's a master year.
It's a big deal, and it's going to be exciting to see more people.
It's going to be exciting to see how everything plays out.
Yeah.
And
but we have that thought, but I'm not actually thinking of what could happen. I'm manifesting what
I'm
I
saying
want
with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 The world's gonna do what it's gonna do. So am I. And tomorrow, next year's gonna be badass. We've been projecting this for a couple of years now, and things continue to happen, and we continue to respond and act, and we're dancing with the universe, man.
Yeah,
and
life's a dance if you allow it to be, and I think Sulu, George
Takai.
just wrote something about that. Yeah, he just did a post, and I was like, yes, it's such a dance. Like dancing because of Lazarus dancing has been a big part of my life recently. It's like I'm seeing.
You've been being the baby a lot.
I've been being the baby a lot. I was jumping on the
Twice
bed today.
Yeah, you jumped on the bed.
I was so excited about birds outside.
Yeah, you had a really neat.
It was a really great day.
Bird day.
But birds and dancing. But anyways, it's just have fun.
In the new year.
Yeah, have fun being you. Have fun, exploring.
May you find yourself.
Yeah.
And meditation's a cool way to get there, man. And you can do it privately, and no one has to know.
Cool. Anything else?
My final word of 2017 is word